Okay, I just tried something new. So I'm holding my hand up so I can mark it when it happens. So now let me know if that worked. Hopefully. It's been a while since I've streamed. I guess I can unmute here too to see. It's been a while since I've streamed. Yes! Okay, it's working now. Great. I don't know. All right, let me try. Just see if I can switch it back to NVIDIA podcast. Does that sound better? And can you still hear me? Hopefully. Hopefully, yes. That's a terrible start to the stream. Again, I guess I can check it myself. Hopefully. Hopefully, yes. Okay, that's a little better. I need to work on my microphone quality. Hopefully get a new microphone at some point. And then is the desktop audio? Can you hear the song? Okay, that's a little better. I need to work on my mic. I'll wait till I play it. Okay, everything seems to be working. So I apologize for that, everyone. What had happened is I had it so that these audio files were on different tracks. You can see tracks 1 through 6. And so when you're editing, that's super awesome because, you know, and when you bring it into like Premiere, DaVinci, you have all those separate audio tracks. So like I can separate the desktop audio from the microphone audio, from the game audio, from, you know, call audio, whatever I'm recording. My brother found that super useful, but not so useful apparently with live streams. It must only pull the audio from audio track 1, whereas everything was on the other audio tracks. So I apologize for that, but I'm glad you can finally hear me, and you're delayed for some reason. That's because I have, right here you can see I can set the latency. So there's ultra low latency, which is like real time, low latency, and then normal latency. Normal latency latency is about 15 seconds, I think, maybe a little bit more of a delay, but it's a higher quality video. And so I figured for something like this, that's a little more important to get the higher quality video. And so that's why I set it to normal latency, because it's not like a real time game where seconds matter, you know, it can be delayed a little bit. So to catch everyone up with what I was saying, I'll have to, on the replay in the description, put like a timestamp. Stream actually starts 10 minutes in. I've been working on this. This is my very own Animusic. It's based off of Kahoot. If you don't know what Kahoot is, it's a trivia game where people can connect on their phones. It's commonly used in schools. And then you answer questions. The answer choices, instead of being like A, B, C, or D, are these shapes which correlate to these colors, which is why I have them here. There's triangle, rhombus, square, and circle. And there's also, I believe, four instruments, hopefully. Yeah, there's 4 main instruments, and I forget what these echoes are. Oh, I think they just add an artificial echo. I'll have to check that out. It's been a while since I've done this. It's been almost a year. And to address that, I had a back injury, which made it really hard for me to sit down. Well, I got busy with school, and then I had a back injury, which made it hard for me to sit down for extended periods of time. So I was unable to do any of these live streams. I have not forgotten about the Animusic. It's been on my mind. I just haven't been able to do it. Now I have finally found the time. I'm able to do it, and I'm excited to do it. And quite a few things have changed since we last did this. I'll play it real quick so we can look at it and see what it's looking like right now, and then we can talk about it. So let's watch it. I guess I should start from the beginning. All right, so that's what I have so far. Um, yeah, it did. The back injury did suck. It's still, I mean, it's still prevalent, but it's a lot better than it was. So I'm happy to not be where I was. And lump of poo on a string says hi. Hello, lump of poo on a string. How are you? So for some reason, I don't know why, but I animated a bunch of camera moves, which is weird because like there's no instruments yet. I mean, like this wasn't the final instrument. This blue one right here. This is just the base to build the instrument on top of. So I don't know why I animated all these camera moves. I'll probably go over and reanimate them because, you know, there'll actually be stuff to compose them based off of. I don't, I don't know what I was thinking with that. But Eevee, which is the render engine I chose to use of this, Blender has two main render engines you can use: Eevee and Cycles. There's also Workbench, but that's for more like that's pretty much just the solid view. Cycles is a fully ray traced engine. It's, you know, movie level visuals, but at the cost of time. Eevee is more, you can think of it as more of a video game engine. It's real time. So when I play it back here, this is more or less what the final result will look like. It'll look a little sharper and a little cleaner, but this is what it'll look like. So it's really convenient for working with the actual project. But they just recently released Blender 4.2, which has something called Eevee Next, which is a weird name in my opinion, but essentially they added some updates to Eevee. The first one that I know a lot of people have been complaining about is they removed bloom. Bloom is that glow. There used to be a checkbox here that said bloom. You could check that, and then, you know, bright things in your scene would glow and you could tweak it and stuff. It's not gone for good. You don't need to stress. Cycles never had bloom. And what you had to do with Cycles is what you have to do with Eevee now, which is you go up here to this compositing tab, and I will hide all of these. But there's a little spoiler here. So you're looking for the glare node. And so you add a glare node. I just do Shift A and then search. I don't honestly even know where it is in here. I don't know where any of the nodes are because I just always search for them. And what the glare node will do is, let me rearrange this to be a little better for me. What the glare node will do is it'll do what the bloom used to do, which is add a glow. So if we had a viewer, and then I never remember the keystroke for, there we go. Okay, so down here is our down here is our image, our rendered image, and we have the glare node in. And you can see this is a streaks, so it adds kind of like the star filter. There's streaks, there's ghosts, which is kind of like a lens flare you can see. It's kind of a freaky effect, I like it. There's simple star, which is like more directly star. Streaks and simple star are pretty similar. There's fog glow, which is the one I use all the time. And then now there's also bloom. Bloom is actually new to this one, and it just imitates what the Eevee bloom used to look like. You can see, change the quality a little bit. But I find fog glow to be the best one. And so a lot of people have complained about having to go to the compositor to do this now. And I can understand that because it's a little less convenient. But if you're not using the compositor, you should be using the compositor. It's what your renders are missing, I promise. You have so much control over it, and it really makes a huge difference. So, you know, if this is gonna, if you love the bloom note, or if you love the bloom and you miss it, this should be your reason to start using the compositing window because it's really powerful. So we'll do bloom because it's a little more obvious because I wanted to demonstrate something. So yeah, you can see bloom's a little cheaper looking, I guess. It can kind of create like a cool neon sci-fi look, so maybe we'll end up going with it. We'll have a whole stream dedicated to just compositing this. But what you can do in the compositor is you can go over here to emission and then check that. And then let's pick a scene with, I guess, yeah, this one's good. So now we render it. It'll take its time. And what we're able to do is, if you look at this emit thing, it's only the things in the scene that emit light, nothing else. So if we want to, we can actually add our bloom to only the things that emit light, like this. See, whereas normally it would add the bloom to everything, you know, everything that's just bright. reflections and stuff. This is just stuff that emits light. And so now if we use a mix color node, I think it's a screen we'll want. Use screen, swap these maybe. All right, what I think is happening is I think it's too bright to combine them. Let's try add. There we go. Add's what we wanted. So now you can see you still have that glow, but it's only on the things that emit light. We'll definitely be using all of these here. You know, you have a lot of control if you use these checkboxes. So the compositing for this should be pretty cool. I'm really excited. The other thing we have, our previous compositing layout, what it did was it added some fog. So if we unmute this, you can see it adds some haze to the faraway shapes. It's pretty cool. But let's get back to this. So that's where we are. We're up to date. Oh, I didn't finish explaining what they added with Eevee Next. They also added, ironically, ray tracing. So what ray tracing does is it improved the reflections, which we had reflections before, if you look right here, but they're better now. You can see the whole scene looks better when you check that. But then they also added global illumination. It's so essentially like this light is affecting this green right here, and it's super subtle, but you can see when that light turns on, it lights up this red and this green right here. That's pretty cool. Downside is it's screen space, which means if you had a glowing light right here, it wouldn't affect the scene because it's outside the camera, so it's not being rendered in the scene. But it still gets it way closer to what you would expect in cycles and stuff, in the real world even. So yeah, this ray tracing is definitely awesome, and I'm excited that it's here, and I'm excited to use it. They also added this checkbox, temporal reprojection, which is supposed to denoise it, but I found it really screws with the visuals. Let's see if they'll do it. Yeah, you see how it's glitching out? So I'll take the noise over whatever that was. All right, so now I think we're entirely caught up. How long has this stream been? I don't know. It's been a while. Tell me here. Yeah, we're 20 minutes in. We're finally caught up. Let's start with finally getting into what we're going to do today, which is we need to figure out what the base is going to look like. So if we go to our music, we have a file that's the bass only, so we can hear what it sounds like. So it's pretty cool. I like how that one sounds. You can hear its implementation in the overall. So what I've been trying to decide between, do I want something like that slides, you know? Think of the tower from Animusic 1. Hold on. Animusic 1 harmonic voltage. All right, so should it look something like this, where it's sliding up and down, boom, boom, you know, or should it be like some kind of tower that lights up, you know? So it's like a stack of lights. I think in Starship Groove, we'll have what I'm thinking of.
Hey there, it's Ashley, and a little thing I love about the
Chick-fil-A is getting free advertisement off of me. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking these towers back here. So should it look like that, or should it look more like the slidey tower? I should have left open another tab in the other one. So let's see what you guys said. That could look cool, something completely different, aka not Kahoot, for something completely different. Kind of sounds like fiber bundles. It does sound a little bit like fiber bundles. I agree. I was thinking of the purple things from Heavy Light, but vertical. Purple things from Heavy Light. Let me look at those. Yeah, I'll learn my lesson. Open a new tab. By the way, huge props to everyone doing these 4K remasters. They're beautiful. I mean, they're just stunning. Animusic has never looked better, and I appreciate everyone who's been doing those. All right, the purple. Thinking of the purple things from heavy light but vertical. Are these what you're thinking of right here? Cause it, or is there something else you're thinking of? Chick-fil-A. The earlier comment was about the glitching. Oh yeah, the glitching would be cool. I don't know if you can like force it to render that way. Cause it's just, you can see right here it says viewport. It's just for the viewport, but it's kind of a neat effect. I don't know what's happening to cause it though. Cause like look, the camera's not even moving and it's freaking out. The purple laser, yeah, something like that's kind of cool too. I like this one might be a good one to take note of for this project because of its cool effects it's got going on here. I don't entirely know how those are done or rendered, but we can figure it out. Yeah, definitely something like that would be cool. So I guess we'll just start prototyping something. You can see we have the entire thing organized here, so we can turn on and off the background, or if we want just the background objects. Oh, those are just for the particle system that causes them to float up. So we can turn off the background. I might actually take this base circle and move it out. That way we can just turn off the water. Oh, I still have that on. You can see if I move really fast, it does it. It's almost got like a motion blur to it. Oh, something else they added that's really cool is you can actually turn on your compositing nodes. And so this is what the final result will look like after compositing. It slows it down drastically, but it's kind of cool that you can preview that. Sorry that your message is delayed. The message delay is not your fault. That's on my end / YouTube's end because I did the normal latency, so not your fault at all. Hear me out. What if you do the blue base lasers from beyond the walls, but stack them like trumpet from stick figures? Okay, I know the trumpets you're talking about because I did those in the Polytopia Quetzali one. I did a stack of, I think it's a French horn in that, but I did a stack of horns because I love that design. So I like we're going with that. The blue base lasers from beyond the walls. Let's see. Wow, that didn't immediately come up. Animusic. Oh, there's a fan remake. That's where's the original. There it is. I didn't know there's a fan remake. I'll have to check that out. Do you guys know about the new rule? Alright, let's see. For the blue base lasers. These things, yes. Okay. So that was one of the things I was discussing is stack of horns like that with the blue base lasers. That's a great idea. I think that'll be cool. So do we think go with that over a slidey thing? I kind of like that better than a slidey thing. I think it would be easier to animate, but I also think it'd be kind of cool. And I was thinking at the top of the structure. Have you ever seen not Spaceship Earth, Space Mountain? At the top of the structure have some kind of like spires like this. So almost imagine you stretch this cone out so it's tall and skinny, added the circles onto it, and then you had the spires at the top. That's what I have in mind. I'm not even from Florida. It's Florida Man, and you are in Florida. Hey, Florida people. All right, so let's get back to this. Wow, this is a mess with all these lights. Let's start working on, let's do the Space Mountain Beyond the Walls thing. Let's see what that could look like. So we'll start by sketching it out with basic shapes that we can replace later on. I think we'll do is instrument. All right, we'll put this cone into here. And then let's just turn everything else off. So it's just us and that. Hello, 2NZ. How are you? Nice. Something with that footprint might be good, I think. I think that looks pretty cool. And beyond the walls, what do they look like? Nice, they're just kind of orbs. That's cool. What do they look like in heavy light? I always try to take cues from the original Animusic without blatantly ripping it off. It's a tricky balance, but I mean, you know, the design work they did is just so incredible that it's hard to not take cues from it. All right, so that's kind of like a cool projector looking thing. So what do we want our emitter to look like, I guess? I guess another thing to note is if we're doing the bass, which we are, how many notes are there? So there's 3 octaves. 3 octaves. So that's, we'll start at C and go up to C1. I guess we can start at F1 and then end at F3. And then we have to worry about the sharps. Okay. I also try to make cues from Animusic without heavily ripping it off. Yeah. It's I mean, it's there, you know. It's what it's based off of. I don't try to hide it. And I think that's, you know, that's how art works in general. Good artists borrow, great artists steal, and all. So I guess let's see what this would look like. So we have F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So that's F2, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So that's our 3 octaves, and then we would need sharps. Let me start writing some of this stuff down. So we need, okay. F1, my pen is drying up. G1, even though G1's not played, you should always, I mean, you don't have to always do this, but and no, Animusic does this, and it's a pretty good rule of thumb. A piano has 88 keys. Even if you're not going to play every single key in a song, it's still going to have 88 keys, right? So, you know, in Animusic, whenever I do these, and I know I took this from Animusic, they would always have, you know, an appropriate range of notes for that instrument, even if those notes aren't going to be played in that specific song. Because you can imagine, I mean, when you look at notes, you see notes that don't get used and stuff, you can imagine all the different songs it could play, you know. So that's why we're going to be doing 3 octaves of notes, even though we really don't need that many notes. And we don't have to animate them or anything, luckily. So we need F1, G1, G1 sharp, and then A1. Alright, I'm actually going to, this part's probably not very exciting for you. The difference between playing homage and sheer plagiarism. Yeah, exactly. It just looks better. I agree that it looks better. It looks more complete. And then being completely honest, pianos don't fit in Animusic. A stringed instrument with hammers that sounds like a piano does. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what a piano is, you know. It's inside of it, it's a stringed instrument with hammers. So they just take the keys away because you don't need a human to play it. That's the only reason the keys exist. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Right now I'm just writing the alphabet. Well, failing to write the alphabet because I put the wrong number at the end. So I'm writing all the non-sharp or flat notes, the natural notes, and then I'll go through and write all the sharp and flat notes I need. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's just the keys feel out of place. Exactly, because keys, keys are there for the human. Why do there need to be keys? It would look odd. Okay, so now let's see what sharps get used. So D2 sharp. G1, G sharp 1, A sharp 1, D sharp 3, as a kid, it would sometimes bother me when the instrument wouldn't play its full range. I always wanted it to go to the very bottom and the very top. I might save some space on this by lopping it off after D sharp 3, because we don't use any of that, and it's going to be a lot of little things, so we'll see. This is where this gets tricky for me because I don't really have a musical background. I love Animusic, but I have no music background pretty much, so this part gets a little tricky. Okay, so those are the sharps that get used, but then we should probably add a sharp between each one. Okay, so we're going to need a lot of notes, essentially. So let's model what one of these emitters might look like. And then we'll go from there. Let's grid fill. Oh, my sketch pad is also my mouse pad, so I gotta put it back. So this is the fun part, just kind of playing around to figure out what looks good to you and what does not. That's a little weird. When it comes to circles and stuff, getting a nice quad topology gets difficult. I'm trying to think how I want this to work. Okay, we're going to add ourselves a round cube. And then I set this to 1. Yes. Set this to 1. And then we're going to delete the bottom half. Good news is, in the last year, I have gotten a lot better at Blender and 3D art in general, so that's exciting. I've really done a lot on compositing, so I'm excited to use those techniques on this. And yeah, I've gotten better at a bunch of different stuff, so I'm excited. Modeling, definitely. Oh, I thought there was a new chat message. There was not. Okay. So I see this as like the center orb. And then it needs some kind of a rim. Okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, that didn't work how I wanted it to. I'm a little rusty. I've gotten better, but I'm still a little rusty because it's been so long. All right, That's looking good. I mean, it's not looking like much yet, but let's just delete this back face. Oh, that's a little much. Okay, now I like the idea of one of the sides being a little more open than the others. Here, I don't know if this is the supposedly right way to do it, but I'm going to bring this out so we don't affect that side with the proportional editing. Something like that, maybe? I doubt you guys can hear it, but the wind is just howling outside. There's currently a hurricane up north, and we're getting the effects of it. Well, I say hurricane in quotes. It's very real up there, but not so much here. And then you can see when we subdivide this. Oh. That's looking pretty good, I think. Let me know what you guys think. No materials yet, but let's do some light, I believe it's called greebling on the outside. Just to give it a little more texture. That's looking good. I'm going to move this to the center real quick. What are these things? I have no idea, but I think they look kind of cool. Semi-randomly distributed. There we go. Oh, well, this one's way too long, so let's scale back. Actually, yeah, I think that'd be cool if they were all the length of the area that they are around. I apologize that this part's not visually more exciting, but it's the actual process is what it looks like when I work on these. All right, there we go. That looks pretty cool to me. Looks like something that could cast a cool looking ray. So now what we're going to do is we're going to apply our modifiers. She would select everything at the cone, join them together. Yippee! We have our device. our creature, if you will. What does it do? It emits the base. How does it do it? I have no idea. All right. So now we need to figure out how they're going to be positioned. Obviously, they're not going to be completely around the cone. That wouldn't really make sense because then you'd have them on the back side. So we're just going to have them on the front half of the cone. So we need to see what that looks like. I'm going to make a copy real quick. We're going to call this base emit template. So this one will not be messed with. And you know what? We're going to give it temporary materials so that all materials get copied. This is our base, we'll call this base glow. This will be our, we'll call it base metal. Nope, it's spelled B-A-S-S. Just realized that. There we go. That looks a little better. All right, base metal goes there, and then these will be, I'll just call them edges for now. I haven't decided if I want them to glow or just be more metal. I'll just call them base edges. All right, now we'll copy it, we'll turn it off. And then we'll position. So we want this pretty small. And you know what? All of this should stick. Okay. Out more. Now it's easier to hide. Oh, another Alexa notice. All right, there we go. So this is our lowest note, which will be F1. So F1, you know what, this will be easier if it's like this. All right. We're getting somewhere, people. Very slowly, but we're getting somewhere. And we'll actually name this F1. So I'm thinking the main notes, the natural notes will be big, and then the sharp notes will be like little off to the side. I think that might be kind of cool. So this one will be like that. So this one is G1. I'm not doing any kind of fancy math to make sure they're scaled proportionally. I did that for an instrument once. It's a lot of work. So I wasn't going to do that for this. I was just going to scale them down to what looks right. Just to get a nice preview of it, because I'm a little impatient. Let's give it a nice emissive material. Set it to blue. And I'll probably give this some kind of texture too. But it's pretty cool. And let's just set this metallic all the way up. Make it a little darker. And boom. That's looking pretty cool. That's what we're working on right now. It's the, if you're new here, it's the base. And I just realized we've been keyframing all of this. Okay. So that's A1. That's B1. We're making it up on this tower pretty fast. So this one cycles around to C2. D2, E2, F2, G2, A2. Actually, no, it'll be too difficult. We have all of these. This is looking good, but we're not quite centered, so I'm just gonna go here, 3D cursor, whoop. There, that's a little more centered. Oh, it's making like a cool spiral pattern. That's neat. I just noticed that. B, C, D, E, F. So I don't have music on these streams because we're working with music, and I figure it would be distracting. But for these streams where I'm modeling the whole time, I should definitely have music. So in the future, I will. I'll make sure I have music on these. I guess I could put some on in the background. Animusic 1 and 2. We'll just listen to Animusic.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Another ad. Always with the ads, huh? I don't want it too loud. I don't want it to be distracting, but. And I can hear it too, so if it's. I'll remember to turn it off if need be. But hopefully it'll be a little less dry for you guys. E, F, G, 2. All right, so A and B2 coming up next. I'm worried about how high up we are and how far down we've scaled. Also, let me know if there's a problem with the mixing. It's too loud, too quiet, whatever. I have it pretty quiet because I don't want it to be too distracting, but if it's so quiet you can't hear it or whatever, just let me know. I'll be happy to, or if I'm too loud or whatever, just I'll be happy to correct it. I think this one should be a little bit bigger. We're going down a little fast. I kind of like the hand placed look of them. Not every single one is perfect, and that's kind of cool. All right, one more octave to go. And this one, I decided I was going to only go up to D. So, not even one more octave to go. Yep, around 3. You know what these look like? I just realized. They look like traffic lights, like a lot like traffic lights. I think exactly like traffic lights. That's funny. Oh well, that works. A little bit of familiarity. Iconography. Alright, is this D3? Does that mean we're done? Woo! Well, we still have to have the sharps, but... Okay. That's looking pretty cool. And keep in mind this cone won't actually be there. We'll find something cooler to put back here. There we go. Okay. So... I was thinking the sharps would go like here. Boop, 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 boop. On the sides here. So this is F1. So F1 sharp is going to be only marginally smaller. The sharps are higher, right? Yeah, flats are lower. Here, it'll be easier if I copy this and just scale down a little bit from here. I'll be right back. All right, I apologize for that. I'm back. Somehow I've been recording the whole time. It's gonna be a big file. Okay, we are back. Let's see. If you ask me, the best part of Future Retro is the xylophones. That doesn't play a large part. Yes, the xylophone's really cool. And Nadina says, Jeremy! Hi, Nadina. How's it going? Man, I love stick figures. Yeah, stick figures is a good one. One of the first ones made, too, I believe. All right, we can get back to modeling these. So what was this note here? This is A1, so this is a sharp one. And then we'll add another spiral on the other side. This is actually looking really cool. This looks like an authentically Animusic instrument, I feel like. It's unique while not straying from the original too terribly far. These are a little harder to make look right. They're hand placed. The hand placement's starting to show a little bit. So this should be C sharp 2. This will go, it's starting to get a little out of line. Let's push these down. That way you can fit in there. It kind of looks like an octopus tentacle almost, see that? Alright, this is E sharp 2. And I just realized this, I mean, not this entire time, but for a while I've been modeling in the rendered view, which is, I mean, material, but still, it's pretty neat. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to model in the rendered view. It's just cool to me how fast it's able to render this. This one should be bigger than this one. Let's scale it up a little bit. Sharp 2. I'll refine their placement a little bit more before we start animating. Once we start animating, though, everything gets locked in. It's a pain to undo stuff. Making these always gives me a lot of respect for the original creators. Because, you know, I mean, when we started designing this instrument, the first thing we did is we went to Animusic to look for a reference. They obviously didn't have that option. So it's cool that, you know, all of this was made from scratch originally. And I also think it's neat that, I mean, Animusic, you know, fan-made Animusic songs are more common than ever now. I mean, they seem to come out so frequently. There's a bunch of different projects dedicated to either remaking them or, you know, making custom ones or whatever, and it's super neat, I think. All right, now we have to do the same thing on the other side. When I was younger, you know, like 4, 5, or 6, somewhere in that range, I used to think Aqua Harp was like the boring one, but now I think it's one of the best ones. It's such a pretty song, and I apologize to it. Because, you know, I was younger, so I just cared that it wasn't fast-paced, you know? My original idea was to make the sharp ones like tinier, and I realized, well, that's not accurate because they're, I mean, you know, that doesn't make sense from a sound physics perspective, but now from a design standpoint, I might make them tinier just because, like here, I've run out of space. Okay, so that's what that looks like right now, and that's pretty cool. I'm going to duplicate it and see, oops, that scared me. See if it looks better with all these scaled down, the sharps. And scale them down like that. And then we'll replace them. Again, I know this isn't accurate, but it might be a sacrifice we have to make for aesthetics. And they should be on the in-between. Now, when I was younger, Drum Machine was always one of my favorites. Before this is done, I'll definitely put together an Animusic Kahoot, if one doesn't already exist, that we can all play on stream. I think that'd be fun. Maybe it'll be a good way to start or end streams. Yeah, I think that looks better. Oh, I guess it makes sense that this is what comes up when you search that. Nope, there's no Animusic one, it looks like. So I'll have to make my own. So start coming up with questions if you have any you want to pitch in. All right. Here, I'll add original just in case for whatever reason I go back to this design. And so it's so much work to get it like this. And then hide it because we're going with this one now. Okay, now we delete the cone, or we'll just hide it for now. Now we have to figure out what the structure should look like. And I have no idea, to be honest. This is where you guys come in. What do we think? What do we think? So, you know, it's in a conical shape, obviously, because I follow the cone. But what should this background structure look like? I think it should be somewhat solid, you know? I don't think it should be like tubes coming out, because of the way I designed the back of these. I'm going to go to the Kahoot website and maybe get some aesthetic inspiration. So you can see it's very, very modern now. Maybe it always was. Wow, there's teams now? I haven't played Kahoot in forever. I played this Kahoot at the end. I'm just trying to get inspiration. Oh, the song's playing in here. That's funny. Okay, I'm just gonna start modeling something. Let's see if inspiration hits. Kind of like where this is going. Now what we come back to is a cone, but I'm basing this more off of our Space Mountain inspiration. I guess this doesn't need to be that visually interesting because it's covered up mostly by these, and then you also have this base which serves as some extra visual interest. So maybe I'll just keep this mostly clean to make the base less cluttered. And then we're gonna rip this off a little bit. I like the way these spires look a lot. Acoustic curves is one I find to be underrated. I think it's a good one. So when you're modeling, use a bevel edge to mark an edge to make it a little more solid when you do the subdivision. So that's what I'm doing here. I can see when I subdivide it, it's starting to look a little more like what it looks like when it's not subdivided. The reason I subdivide it at all, though, is because these hard edges just are not natural. And I think I went on a whole rant about that in a previous one of these live streams. But just to summarize it, there's pretty much no surface on Earth that's completely, 90-degree angle, rigid, which is what computers love. So you have to kind of fight with the computer a little bit and say, no, that's not what we're doing, because that's not what the real world does. And so yeah, it seems a little counterintuitive to like subdivide it and then fight against the subdivision. I do fully recognize that. But it's what gets you results that don't look bizarre. You know what I should have done here? Should have done that on all of these. Dang it. I might have messed up, but we'll see. That one to be sharp, okay. There we go, we're almost there. For some reason this side's bugging. It's kind of cool though, I might just leave it like that. Hey buddy, what's going on this side, huh? Beveled, so I'd surely have no idea. Alright, well that's kind of cool, so I'll leave it like that. Whew, one spire done, that took way too long. Not perfectly even, you know what? I'm not quite ready for that. Because you already know what time it is, it's bevel time. There we go. See how that just looks a little better because it's got these soft edges, but it still looks like a hard, solid object. That's why we do that. Looks like a cactus or something. Let me try something. I don't know what happened if I do this, but it's just... That worked, but... And then we'll put this one on the other side maybe and call it there. I kind of like this. It's a little futuristic. You know what? I might do the circle thing like this. And then we can call it. There we go. All right, what do you guys think? I will take some feedback if anyone has any on this. I might slide it into place so we can see it where its new home will be. Is it too big for the base? Oh god. All right, it looks like it's a smidge too big, so we're just gonna boop. Oh, maybe not that much. There we go. There we have it. Let's bring everything back. Oh, maybe not the archive. Or I forgot about that. I was working on something already. I think for this even. Oh man, I completely forgot about this. Oops. Well, I'm like lost for words right now. I can't believe I had already been working on an instrument and just neglected to use it. Maybe we can use this for one of the other instruments because it's pretty cool. If I remember it, maybe I'll forget it again. Look, it's rhombus shaped because, man, that was so smart. And I threw it all away. Oops. I feel a little stupid right now because you can't tell. Oh well, nothing we can do. I mean, there's something we could do, but we're not going to. So this is pretty cool. So let's tint this metal blue. And we're gonna add some squares to it. So Phineas and Ferb, there's this thing in their backgrounds. That will not pop up for some reason. Or they put triangles in the backgrounds. It's like it's a repeated theme, you know? Gives it a little bit of texture, breaks it up a little bit. Triangles are obviously semi-important to the show. Gotta stop scrolling before it gets weird. I'm gonna do that here, except with squares, because it's a rhombuses, maybe. So we're going to create a procedural texture. Procedural. Let's see, what kind of texture do we want? I think it's a Voronoi. Voronoi. Alright, and then we turn down the random. And then maybe we just do F1. That kind of makes squares. Do you want me to rotate the squares? Yes. 45 degrees. Now the rhombus. Bye. And we add this to a color ramp. And we get rid of some of them. So it's only a few that we keep. And then essentially we repeat that. So we don't have to repeat everything. Make it 40. Change the W. Mix, color. Add. And so you can see we're starting to add some. And so we can change the color. You know, this can be like super, almost purple. And this can be almost cyan. And then we're going to do it again and again and again and again. And so we have a elaborate square pattern. We can also change the scale, I realize, a little bit. Anyway, this is my idea for the shader. So I hope you guys like it, because this is what I've got. I love making procedural textures. I think it's fun. All right, something's not working. Maybe something is swatch. Oh, it's not plugged in.
The robots have gotten pretty good at what they do, but they can't give an item a human touch. On Etsy, you...
All right, that's looking cool, but it's adding the black, I realize. Let's do screen. I'm still learning the blending modes. I might change this to smooth. It's still cool. And then we tweak the scales a little bit. Oh, here we go. So I needed to have done from the beginning. All right, making it metal. Now roughness. It's kind of working. Might be a little too abstract. Here, what is this? All right, we're gonna copy this, and then we're gonna put this on top of that. That'll make sense shortly. There we go. That's looking better. Maybe we need to brighten up some of these though. Let's change this color to be a little darker. And then, yeah, it's starting to look right. See, my goal is to put that, and I think it accomplishes that. It destroys our performance, which is interesting. Might need to bake this texture, which I don't really know that much about, but I'll have to figure it out. I haven't decided if I like it though, in case you can't tell. I think it needs more detailing on top of it. Wind glow. Actually, wait, what's this material called? Blue Magical Glow. We're gonna call this one Blue Magical Glow. Or, I mean, we're gonna use Blue Magical Glow. Now these rings. Nice. Alright, now I'm happy again. Let's use this again. materials. Actually, let's look these as well. And that's looking pretty good. I think. Let's see how it looks with our animated camera, which I think was a mistake. I like this shot, like the depth of field. It just occurred to me, I think there's a way that this can be animated. I mean, I know there's one way, but I don't like it that much. But I think you can do, switch this to 40. One, and then multiply by time. Multiply by frame. Did that work? Oh, framing not divine. I'm gonna have to look into that because there's a way you can do that. It might be cool if they were like slowly changing, you know? Do I have an empty that just kind of moves? I do. Or if I did, I named it. I don't know what it is. Oh, that's not what I wanted. How long is this song total? 3839. We're going to call this our timekeeper. Yeah, it's another one. Yeah, this is really laggy. Yikes. All right, it's a good proof of concept. We're gonna have to make this number really small. Yes, that's what I wanted. Cool. Okay. Now we just add a new one for each of these. And so now we can like make this one extra slow, or we can make this one a little faster. We can make this one extra slow. Cool. And one more thing we're going to try. We got to open it. Emission. Oh, and then one other thing we're going to do. I love layering the little details on top like this. Copy driver. Edit. Anyway, view that's fun. I don't know, that's pretty cool. Let's do a little bit of compositing, just to see what this could look like in the end. Oh, where's that cone coming from? All right, let's see what this could look like actually composited. So I am going to delete this. So we're going to do the emission thing we did earlier, just to emphasize these things. Yeah, now I got a little bit of glow. And then we also want a nice mist pass. Dang it, did one job. That was to get connected to this one. All right, I like how that's looking. What do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy to have finally made progress after almost a year of nothing. I'm not completely sold on this yet. I'll do a little bit more looking at that to figure out what I think should happen there. But overall, I'm pretty happy. I think we'll probably call it here, just because it's been a long time and we made some good progress today. If you're watching this back and you have any comments, please leave them. I will read them and take them into consideration for the next one. Hopefully we'll get to some animation soon. Maybe we can animate this one. I don't know if I want to build all the instruments and then start animating, or complete an instrument at a time. I might build them and then start animating, just to make sure, like, the beams from this don't interact with the the other instruments. But we'll figure that out. Overall, though, I'm super happy with the progress. You guys have been great in the chat. It's fun to have people to work on this with. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you guys soon. I really appreciate all of you watching, and have a